Hey there, my name's David and you're watching The Restyle File. Today I am finally doing a follow-up video to my previous Ship With Me video. I made a video about 2 months ago where I prepared items to ship into TheRealReal in order for them to sell them in the hopes of making a profit. There are definitely some cons to selling with TheRealReal, such as their new updated commission structure, which withholds a lot of the payout, and that they can be a bit choosy about the items that you send in. But there are also some added benefits, such as the fact that all you have to do is send in the item and they take care of everything else, including customer service, handling returns, and all those other things. So in this video, I'm basically going to go through the items that I had in my previous video, but giving you guys an update on how did they fare on TheRealReal. First of all, were they accepted? If so, what did they list them at? What did the item sell for if it did sell? What's my payout? And how much profit did I make from the sale? Before we get into it, please make sure that you are subscribed and hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And make sure to like, comment, and share this video. I do thrift hauls, I do what's sold videos, and I let you know what items are currently selling, what I'm sourcing. That way it can also help you when you're out there sourcing as well. So the first item in my first TheRealReal video that I sent in was an Adrian Landau faux fur jacket. And they did accept the item. They listed it for $75, which was not what I was hoping for at all. I had previously sent in another item by this label, and they had actually priced that at about $275. So even though it was faux fur, like the previous item was, I was hoping for a much higher listing price. At this time, it is currently listed for $45, just because TheRealReal does start marking down the price if it doesn't sell within a certain time frame, which also directly affects the payout that you're going to receive. So if it were to sell right now, I would receive $9, and that would actually be a deficit on what I paid out, because I paid $20 for this item at Goodwill. So that particular item I should probably request back before it sells. I would probably be better off selling it myself. The next item I sent in was a Valentino lace trim embellishment pajama top. And this item was accepted. It was initially listed for $185. TheRealReal does tend to price items that are vintage pajamas or silky type of items from Christian Dior, Oscar de la Renta, all those sort of old money labels. They do tend to price them very well. The item did sell, and it sold for $129.50. And based off of TheRealReal's commission structure, I'll be receiving $39, and I paid $3 for that, so my total profit on that item will be $36. I think in comparison to what I could probably sell old, used pajamas for myself, I think that's a fair amount that I'm getting there. Probably better than anything I could personally do. The next item I sent in was a London Fog woman's insulated jacket, and they did not accept this item. And admittedly, it is super dated, but I think I'm actually going to try resending it again, just because I've only sent it once, and they've accepted other items similar to this in the past. So resending is another strategy that you can consider sometimes with TheRealReal if you think that an item should get a second shot. The next item was a Gucci floral Chris Knight men's button-down shirt. And they did accept this item, of course, and they actually listed it at $395, which was much higher than what I had initially projected. And it ended up selling for $316. So based off of TheRealReal's commission structure, I receive $196, and I did pay up for this item at $50 at Goodwill in the boutique section. So my total profit is $146. I know that paying up for an item can be very sort of intimidating territory, but you can lessen the intimidation a bit by doing some research. I saw that they had this exact same shirt sell previously on TheRealReal for about $350, so just doing the calculation between what I've received on the commission structure, I knew that there was pretty safe room for profit. The next item was a Jean Paul Gaultier men's crossover vest, and they did accept the item, and they listed it at $476. Now, it initially sold, but another thing that's sort of a con to TheRealReal is that they do have a return policy on most of their items. I believe it's only purses at this time that I know of that they do not accept returns on, but anything else, the customer does have a small window for them to potentially return the item if it doesn't meet their standards or if it doesn't fit, etc. So this item actually has been returned, but I'm fairly confident that it could sell again, and at this time it has been reduced a bit to $446.25. If it were to sell right now at that price, I would receive $298.98 based on their payout structure, and I paid $170.69 on that one. Definitely took a gamble there, bought it on Poshmark. So my total profit would be $128.29 if that item were to sell right now at that price. It might sit for a little bit longer, totally okay. Still plenty of room for profit. I don't mind waiting around a bit on that one. Next item was a vintage Christian Dior navy leather belt. This item they did accept and they priced it pretty well, which I expected. They tend to price vintage belts by Christian Dior or any of the old money labels decently. They priced it at $195. Now it ultimately sold for $136.50. Based off of their commission structure, I'm receiving $41, but I only paid $2 for this at Goodwill since it was a blue color tag and it was half off. So my total profit on that was $39. If this were a substantial belt or one of those that has like any sort of obvious logo on the buckle, then I would have probably sold it myself. But since it was just a plain navy belt, me personally, I don't see myself getting anything more than maybe $35. And then I would also have to face the fees of Poshmark or eBay or any of those others, so I would probably have received either just about or less than what I received on TheRealReal. So that sale made sense to me. Next item was a Bottega Veneta Intrecciato brown leather mules. And they did accept these, and they listed them for $465. They eventually sold for $325.50. Now the bad news, they were returned, but the good news, they sold again immediately, so they must have been on someone's wait list. So based off of TheRealReal's commission structure, I received $202. I paid $107.16 for these on Poshmark, so my total profit is $94.84. Hopefully this time around it sticks. The next item I sent in was a Bob Mackie green evening jacket. And they did accept the item, and they actually listed it for $95, which actually is a bit high, more than I anticipated. Now, right now, they actually have it reduced down to $57. So if it were to sell right now, because it's not sold just yet, I would receive $11.40. And I paid $7 for this jacket, so my profit on that would be $4.40, which really wouldn't be much at all. That's another item that I could probably request back and try just listing myself. But I just thought it was so dated and I didn't care for the print or the shape or anything about it really, which is why I sent it in the first place. I may also just not want to deal with it and just leave it there. It is what it is. Now, probably my most exciting sale out of all of these is this next one. I sent in a Fendi vintage late 1990s Zucca print trench coat. It sold for full price. They listed it at $1,025 and that's what it sold for. Now, based off of their commission structure, the more you sell, or the higher the amount you sell, the better your percentage gets. So I got $687 for that jacket from that sale. I paid $80 for that jacket, so I did pay up for it, but just because I knew that it would do really, really, really well. So my total profit on that jacket was $607. Probably one of my best sales of the year. And a truly phenomenal piece. Definitely not something you find every day, but I was very lucky that I did. The next item was an Oscar de la Renta pink label floral slip, And unfortunately, this item they did not take. So I think the pink label specifically of Oscar de la Renta is a no-go. So this item I don't plan to resend just because I think I've had my fill with it. But I actually just slapped down a mannequin and it is now currently listed in my store. And I'm sure it will eventually sell for 15 bucks or so, which I'm fine with. The next item I sent in was a St. John Sport orange blazer jacket. And they accepted the item, they listed it at 70, and it actually sold for $49. Based off of their structure, I'm receiving 10 bucks from that sale. And I paid $7 for this jacket, so my total profit is $3. I don't know what possessed me to buy this jacket. It is the ugliest shade of orange. As a matter of fact, I don't think that photo does it justice. It is like a more pastel-y Easter kind of orange, not that bright red orange. So I am very surprised that that sale did stick and that it was not returned. Go figure. The next item was a United Arrows red slouchy v-neck sweater. They did accept the sweater and they listed it for $40. It sold for $30, so that means I received $6 and I paid $3 for it, so another $3 profit. I just had no motivation whatsoever to list that item myself or to put it on a mannequin, and it's just a sort of whatever sweater. And even though United Arrows is a really cool label, I don't think that it's one that's really in the sort of cultural zeitgeist or anyone's particularly hunting these types of items. So I'll take it. The next item I sent in was a Giovanni beaded silk dress. And they did accept the item and they listed it for $245. So pretty decent. And it actually did sell eventually, but it unfortunately was returned. And I can see a couple of reasons why. First of all, look at this picture. What is this? Real, you have mannequins. Why did someone just, it looks like they put it on the floor and just use some sort of cropping or something to edit it, and just shameless. Like, no, don't do that. I've heard horror stories about photography in the real where they button things crooked or they completely misshape items and then take photos and list it. Mm-mm-mm. And another thing is they listed it as a strapless dress, but no, that dress definitely has straps. So to be honest, I'm not surprised that it was returned by the first buyer. Here's hoping that it does sell eventually. The current price for this dress on TheRealReal is reduced down to $196. So if it were to sell right now, I would receive $88.20, and I did pay $15 for this dress at a Texas thrift store, so my total profit would be $73.20. Since there is still pretty decent room for profit there, I'm fine with leaving it up to them. Although I may make a phone call to them to see if they can update the listing, because they're doing people dirty by listing it as strapless when it very clearly has straps. And maybe also complain about the photo. Not sure if they'll do anything about that though. Next item was a Norma Kamali polka dot evening jacket, and they did accept the item. They listed it for $85, and it is currently unsold, which I think is a bit surprising. I think this jacket is really nice. But if it were to sell currently, right now it's reduced down to $59.50, I would receive $11.90. And considering that I paid about $4 for this item, I would receive $7.90 in profit. That item I kind of want to ask for it back, just because I do like it, and I feel like I could probably list it for about $50 and probably swing somewhere in the $40 area. So we'll see what happens with that one. The next item was an Alice and Olivia wide leg leather pants. They were accepted and they did list them for $255. Now, TheRealReal doesn't tend to list Alice and Olivia items consistently high, but I figured since these were 100% leather that they were worth sending in, just because that's going to give you a higher likelihood that they're going to list them for a good price. Now, when they sold, they did sell at a reduced price of $178.50. So after TheRealReal takes their chunk, I am left with $80. And I paid $3 for these, if you can believe that, at a Texas thrift store on a half off sale. So my total profit on those was $77. I definitely don't think I could have gotten that much myself for the Alice and Olivia jeans, so this is a sale that I'm very content with. The next item was a Longchamp black leather shoulder bag, and they did accept the item. They listed it for $175, and the item ultimately sold for $140. The good thing about purses is that they have a no return policy on purses. Based off of TheRealReal's commission structure, I received $42, and I paid $13 for that purse at Goodwill, so my total profit was $29. Longchamp has actually had a resurgence recently just because one of their particular bag styles has gotten really, really popular on TikTok, I believe, but this type of bag I don't think is really that bag. So I am perfectly fine with sending that one in. I don't see anything wrong with the price I got. The next item sent in was a Mary McFadden Studio 2 animal print jacket. They did accept it, which was funny because the first time I sent it in, they did not accept it, but goes to show that resending can occasionally be a decent strategy. They listed it for $135, and it did eventually sell for a reduced price. Unfortunately, they did send it back, which I'm not surprised. It's very dated and probably looks not so great on people that are not mannequins. So right now it is currently listed and reduced at $81. If it were to sell at that price, I'm going to receive $16.20. I paid $5 for that, so I'll receive $11.20. I don't have any particular wish to list this myself, so I think it's going to stay on TheRealReal. The next item was a London Fog women's floral print trench coat. And they did accept this one, which was funny because the first London Fog one, they said brand not accepted. Really? Really? But they listed it for $125, and it eventually sold for $75. So I received $15 from that sale, and I paid $4.50 for it at a Salvation Army on a half off day. So my total profit for that one was $10.50. Not incredible, but at least it's profit. The next item was a Valentino black striped blazer, and they did accept it, and they listed it for $125. You would probably hope for more with vintage Valentino, but this was a very dated style and kind of didn't have anything special about it. So it eventually sold for $100. Based off of their commission structure, I received $30, and I paid $5 for that blazer, so my total profit was $25. And the next item that I sent in was a Chrome Hearts glasses. Now, these glasses I was very nervous about just because I found them in a glasses bins for $2 at a random charity shop, and they were prescription lenses. TheRealReal has told me previously that they do not accept, that they need to have clear non-prescription lenses or sunglass lenses. So I actually took them to a flea market in order to get the lenses replaced. And the lenses were a little rough around the edges just because it was a gentleman with a machine right there just sort of sanding it down, and I suppose you got what you paid for. I paid $15 for him to do that. I figured I'll go ahead and send them in. If they reject them, maybe I'll eventually pony up the money, get them professionally done somewhere, but they actually did accept them. Now they put them in fair condition, which I believe is the lowest rating that they'll give an item that they accept typically, but they ended up listing them for $595, and they sold for $476. So I am receiving $295 from that sale, and I paid $17 total. $2 because that's how much the item cost, and $15 to pay the gentleman at the flea market to switch out the lens. So my profit on those was $278. So pretty phenomenal profit on that item as well. I'm gonna chalk that one up with the Fendi coat as probably my best sales from TheRealReal this year. And it really goes to show you that you never know where you're going to find designer pieces. It might even be in that giant glasses bin. Now the last item I sent in was an Oscar de la Renta garment luggage bag, and just as I expected, this item was rejected. I may try to resend it in one more time, or, maybe I'll just keep it. I occasionally need something to travel with my clothes, so it might be worth it. We'll see what happens with that. Now let's go ahead and summarize all of my RealReal sales. And I'm not going to include the things that haven't sold yet, obviously, but I am going to go ahead and tally up all of the sales, let you know what I'm getting after the fees, how much I paid for the items in total that sold, and what my total profit is. Because the whole point of all this is to make profit, right? So in total I sent 21 items. Out of those 21 items, 3 items were rejected, leaving me with 18 items listed on TheRealReal, of which 12 sold and 6 are still currently pending. But taking into account those 12 items that sold, the total sales was $2,981. After the TheRealReal's fees and their commission structure, I received $1,643. My cost of goods for those items was $294.66, especially considering that I paid up for a few of those items. For that last video that I made about the TheRealReal, my total profit on the items that have sold from that video so far is $1,348.34. A number like that is probably the reason why I still send some stuff in. Now, I totally understand the rationale behind not wanting to send stuff in, or it being a matter of principle, or just not wanting to deal with the TheRealReal, or even if you're just more experienced in luxury reselling and perhaps just prefer to do that yourself. Me personally, I see a little bit of benefit in it just because I avoid scammers, I avoid having to authenticate items myself, and the customer service, the returns, the shipping, all those items. So it still makes sense for me on some items. There are some items here where it absolutely does not make sense and I need to ask for some of those items back. Definitely learning things as I send in more and more items. And I hope that you learned something from this video as well. I really appreciate y'all for supporting the first video, you supporting this video by giving a like, commenting, and sharing it, and of course also support this channel by subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you're notified every week when I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an incredible sales week, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya! In today's useless bonus footage, I think it's only fitting, since we're talking luxury goods and the TheRealReal, that I show you a luxury find. So, look at them. These are the Balenciaga Triple S shoe, and my older sister Ashley found these. She also loves thrifting, and I have always wanted a pair of these, and admittedly they are a little tight. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know about authenticity on these, but I mean, they're the right price, right? And they look good enough for me, so very excited about these. Have you had any luck recently with finding any luxury goods? I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. Let me know. Until next time, see ya.